We set some specific targets for 2023 also to provide us an anchor and also roadmap for the all strategies of economic development in Turkey. So it has some different subtitles under it. Definitely the infrastructure investments are playing an important role in this strategy, because with all these major projects like the suspension bridge in the Bosphorus or the third Istanbul airport, which is planned to be the biggest in the world, these are all projects that support the vision of Turkey for 2023 to become an important hub for the region and a logistics center, and also to help us to provide the best infrastructure for investments in Turkey in all different sectors. We know the importance of the infrastructure both on the regulatory side and also on the physical infrastructure, how it is important for the investments. And together with that, in line all these developments on the economic planning and the strategic projects, we also made a comprehensive package of reforms in Turkish economy, and then also a comprehensive package of measures to improve the investment environment in Turkey to go in line with these infrastructure investments, to make also the legal infrastructure ready for investments, especially for foreign investors too, including the national treatment principle. Once you establish a company in Turkey, even though it's 100% foreign ownership, you are treated equally as a Turkish company. Or the incentive scheme that's especially designed maybe in the years 2003, 2004, but continuously was updated during all the years upon the feedbacks we got from the investors. We are trying to facilitate the investors the venture in Turkey before, during, and after the investment processes. The investment office of the President of Turkey helps the investors to go through all these procedures, and to, especially when they are dealing with bureaucracy with a mentality of one-stop approach, we are helping them to go through all these, the levels of feasibility studies, and helping them to make their market research in Turkey, to contact with related parties both on the public and the private side, and to deal with their concerns and any problems that it may appear on the process of investment planning and the realization of the project. And also after sales services to help them to enlarge their business after their first investment, or to deal with their issues with regard to either the local or the central authority, or to help them to have their communication and the partnerships with other third parties too. So with different ways and different authorities, and also through regulatory infrastructure, Turkish government aims to maximize the potential for foreign direct investments in Turkey. Because as we always say, the attracting foreign direct investments to Turkey is not a choice. Actually, it's a necessity for the economic development model of Turkey, which is based on dynamic and fast economic growth. And hopefully the foreign direct investments will be playing an important role in the development phase of Turkish economy. The global companies are benefiting from Turkey's geostrategic location, both as an administrative and at the same time as a manufacturing export hub. Because when they are investing in Turkey, they are usually considering the potentials not only for domestic market, but especially for the neighboring markets around Turkey. In order to make it easy to grasp and remember, we usually draw an imaginary circle of 4-hour flight zone around Istanbul, and in this 4-hour flight zone circle, you can reach a total population of 1.6 billion people with a total GDP of 28 trillion US dollars. So in the middle of such huge potential, Turkey can be a springboard for global investors to address both the domestic market potentials and the opportunities in the neighboring countries too. Thanks to that, now many global companies position Turkey as their hub for the region, and addressing all these different economies from Turkey, not only thanks to the location itself, but at the same time the skill set of the Turkish human capital, which is very cost effective, and at the same time, thanks to the maybe the historical role of the Turkey in the region, having lots of networks with the neighboring countries on business wise, on business side, and also socially and culturally. So the global companies are also benefiting from the skills of Turkish human capital for doing business in the neighboring countries too. Also, the government, through especially infrastructure projects, try to maximize these strategic, geostrategic, the potential with accurate logistic projects and infrastructure projects. All these, the bridges on the Bosphorus, the undersea passages, the efforts to enhance the railway network, at the same time to third airport, which will maximize especially particularly Istanbul and generally Turkey's position to be a hub for the region, and to make companies, global companies, benefit from this potential. I think Turkish Airlines, which I am a board member also, is a perfect example for that, because when a company benefits and uses the potential of Turkey as a strategic location, they can reach many different markets in a very effective and a cost-effective way. And Turkish Airlines actually is a living proof for that, by being the airline company in the world, flying the most destinations, most countries, and they can do the many of these destinations. They can fly many of these destinations with narrow body planes. I think this also shows the importance of location for a company which has some global targets and the regional targets too. And at the same time, to enhance this position of Turkey, in addition to customs union with EU countries, we have also 27 free trade agreements with some the bilateral agreements with many other countries to enhance Turkey's position as a hub for the region, to make it easier to make business with these countries in the reach of accessible market area of Turkey. We also made the necessary regulatory preparation by signing the deals, individual deals with these countries too, in addition to customs union, as I said before. So when you produce in Turkey, you can easily circulate your goods to more than 47 countries, including some very important markets in Europe, Central Asia, Middle East, Russia. So when we are talking about the investment environment of Turkey, we are not only talking about the potentials in Turkey, but especially we are talking about the whole opportunities in the easy reach area of Turkey in the neighboring countries. Turkey's track record for managing such kind of crisis, especially the crisis on regional base, actually is the proof for the safety and the security of the investments in Turkey in general, because unfortunately this part of the world has never been a stable part of the world in the history too. But inevitably, as Turks that we are living in these territories for more than centuries, develop some skills to deal with the situation too. And especially before 2002, the political stability was also a problem, a concern in Turkey. The average life of a Turkish government was 15 months, but after 2002, we had the opportunity to provide political stability by successive single-party governments. So this also helped us to, take some long-term steps to provide a safe haven for the investors too, by enhancing some reforms, taking some necessary steps for regulatory infrastructure to provide the maximum security for the investors, and also being the most stable and economically developed country in the map. When you look at to that part of the world, Turkey provides a safe haven for investors to address the opportunities in the whole region. Maybe the region itself, especially the southeastern part, when you look at the countries and the political problems, conflicts in the region, it can be a risky area, but at the same time, it's the area where the opportunities are huge for the global investors. So you have to address these opportunities somehow, and Turkey appears as the most and safest haven for investors to address all these opportunities in the region. And when they center their operations in Turkey, they can easily address the opportunities not only in Turkey but also in the neighboring countries. And also, when you look at the foreign direct investments, these are investments based on long-term perspectives of 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. So, of course, when they are making the decision, they may have some concerns because of the political situation, either in the country, domestic situation, or the regional conflicts. But when you look at the effect on the foreign direct investments, we see that the effects are usually very limited. Since 2014 and 15, we had some problems in Turkey and also in the region. We had some major terror attacks in 2014-15. We had a coup attempt in 2016 and jet plane situation with Russia. But in all these crises, Turkey's crisis management and the recovery time from the crisis was very impressive, and it helped us to continue to attract foreign direct investment to our country. Last year, for example, again, it was a turbulent year for the region, but while the global FDI decreased 13%, the FDI to Turkey increased within level percentage of 12.6. So this also shows them Turkey, with its experience, especially in crisis management, can easily and positively distinguish itself from the rest of the developing economies, also with some fast recovery time and impressive economic results in a medium and long term. This is why we believe that it won't be a problem to attract foreign direct investments to Turkey. But of course, we believe the potential is much higher for Turkey to attract foreign direct investments. Maybe it can, cause some delays in the hitting these targets in the future. But at the end, Turkey will attract the foreign direct investment that she deserves in the also long term, and be in the way to become an important player in the global economy. The investment office of the president of Turkey actually is the official body responsible for attracting foreign direct investments to Turkey, and at the same time the sole responsible government body to support the investors before, during, and after the investment processes, at the same time with the mandate to promote the investment environment of Turkey. This is why we have also a representative in London too. So we are in a position to address the investors in UK also, and also on a global scale in their respective countries, to immediately contact them. We are providing a one-stop in Turkey for them to go through all these procedures in the easiest way and without with the minimum cost and the minimum effort to navigate in a new country, the country that they want to invest. And the aim is to attract more foreign direct investment to our country. And the very reason for the establishment of this office is that. This is why, please, we recommend the potential investors and the global companies here located in London to use us in the most functional way as a silent partner in Turkey, which will help them to go through all these procedures in investment projects.